The Nobushi is a hybrid fighter in For Honor. With their powerful bleed moves and long range, they have an exceptional control over the battlefield. Listed as one of the harder heroes in For Honor, the Nobushi is a lot of fun, and with just a little bit of know-how and practice, you can become a fierce Nobushi player. Hey everyone, I'm Phoenix, and this is your quick start guide to playing Nobushi. These quick start guides are meant to help you quickly learn a hero with some slight combat tips. Do note that most of the combat tips are tailored for 1v1. If you're new to Nobushi, just let the video play and follow along. But if you're here for something specific, there are timestamps in the description to get you to the section of the guide that you're looking for. First off, let's go over hero-specific abilities. Way of the Shark. The bread and butter of being a Nobushi. Certain attacks have the ability to inflict bleed, and put simply, when your enemy's bleeding, they'll take more damage from all of your attacks. Always keep your enemy bleeding, and you'll start dealing a lot of damage. Hidden Stance. This is a really interesting one. Hidden Stance has a dodge element to it, activated by pressing down on the right analog stick or by pressing C on the keyboard. When you activate it, you'll move back a bit, allowing you to dodge an oncoming attack if you time it right. The timing is a bit earlier than parrying, so to effectively dodge, you need to use it in a predictive manner, not so much a reactive manner. Hidden Stance takes a lot of stamina to use, but you can use attacks, kick, and dodge right out of it. When you have good control over your stamina and can afford to lose some, this is a great option. But sometimes taking the risk of using it when low on stamina can freak out your opponent, especially if they're paying attention to your stamina levels and they know how Nobushi works. Hidden Stance is a great mix-up tool, but using it too much can make you predictable and stamina hungry. Side Slashes. Hitting at the opposite direction of your dodge, side slashes allow you to follow up with Hidden Stance, Viper's Retreat, kick, or dodge. Light Attack Combo. Your third chained light attack will always hit if the second one connects. Cancel Attack Recovery. Attacks can be followed up by Hidden Stance, Viper's Retreat, or a kick. Kicks can be followed up by Hidden Stance or Cobra Strike. Now when it comes to canceling your attack recovery, Nobushi has tons of animation cancels for this, and there are very few recoveries that she can't cancel out of. If you want more info on animation canceling in general, you can find out about that in a video on my channel. Now that we know what the Nobushi can do with their abilities, what are the possible strikes we can perform? Nobushi has 3 chain attacks. Poke the Nest is the 3 light attack. Remember that if the second one connects, then the third one's guaranteed. Poke the Nest is important because it comes out extremely fast and it applies bleed, allowing you to start raking in the damage. Hiss and Bite is a light followed by a heavy, and Death Rattle form is 2 heavy attacks. Hiss and Bite and Death Rattle form are great if you want to mix up your timings and throw your opponent off, but generally in a 1v1 setting, that's only really where they're useful. Your mileage may vary with these 2 moves. Slithering Thrust is your sprinting light attack. Only usable outside of guard mode. If you can catch your enemy off guard with this, it's a decent way to get bleed applied, allowing you to start up a chain of attacks benefiting from the bleed. Using this as a small backstep on it, and it allows you to get your guard up. Coiling Slash is your sprinting heavy attack. Again, only usable outside of guard mode. This move is a somewhat decent mix-up to Slithering Thrust, as it can net you some quick damage, but it doesn't apply a bleed, which makes it a bit too risky in my opinion. Cobra Strike is your quick step light attack, allowing you to sidestep a strike and punish with a bleed. You can also use it stepping forward. Cobra Strike mix-up is a variant of Cobra Strike. After guard breaking, then throwing, done by tapping the guard break button a second time, using a light right after this will perform a Cobra Strike mix-up, dealing damage and applying a bleed. Viper's Retreat is a great move for punishing your enemy's attacks, and a great way to start your opposition. By pressing back and the light attack at the same time, you'll perform a small step backwards while thrusting your weapon forward, inflicting a bleed on impact. Using this to punish your enemy's light attacks is a great option, but done too often and the enemy might start to feint it out, bait it out, and punish it. Sidewinder form is your heavy step attack, and it's a great way to sidestep and punish an enemy once they are already bleeding. It comes out pretty quickly despite being a heavy attack, and it'll always attack from the opposite direction of the direction that you're sidestepping in. For instance, if you sidestep to the right, the attack hits on the left, and vice versa. This element can sometimes trick your opponent and net you a great chunk of damage dealt, especially when they're bleeding. Kick is a great unblockable tool to use when you want to keep your combo going or break through the enemy's defense. After performing a light or a heavy strike, press the guard break button to kick, or press guard break after using Hidden Stance. Depending on the distance or terrain, kick can sometimes whiff and the enemy can punish you for it. Finally, we have Swift Recoil, which is pretty much just pressing dodge/roll button after blocking an attack. This is good for creating some distance, but instead of just taking the block, you can also try and parry, which opens up a lot of different opportunities, but swift recoil is definitely an option. Now that we know the abilities and the strikes, how can we string this all together? Here are some tips and tricks. The Nobushi is great at keeping distance and capitalizing off of your enemy's mistakes. Your number one priority as a Nobushi should always be managing your bleed. Always try and get a bleed off early to ensure you get as much damage out whenever you combo or chain attack. Bleeding periodically is the best way to ensure that you are milking as much damage out of your combos as possible. Next is the stamina management. The Nobushi can quickly drain all of her own stamina, as a lot of her kit uses a ton of stamina, especially hidden stance. Here are some quick defensive tips. Range is a Nobushi's best friend. Generally, a Nobushi never wants to be backed into a corner, so do your best to avoid being backed against a wall. Weaving a kick in to push the enemy back is a good option if you can mix it up well enough. Or if you manage to guard break, you throw the enemy back behind you, turning the tables. Ultimately, just try to avoid being positioned with your back against a wall. One of the best ways to engage in combat is to bait and punish. Sidewinder form allows you to sidestep an unblockable, deal damage, and keep the distance in your favor. Other great tools to keep distance are Viper's Retreat, helping you reset your distance and inflict bleeding, allowing you to transition into offensive play. Now for quick offensive tips. Again, always keep your bleed up when you're going on the offensive. Nobushi has really weak base damage without the bleed buff from Way of the Shark, so weaving bleeding constantly to ensure they are always bleeding is a great way to ensure you will always get the most out of your damage. A great combo is a parry into a guard break, followed by a top heavy. If they're bleeding, you're going to deal massive damage. Being quick on your feet while keeping range is a great way to hold a good opposition. Your light attacks are fast and they're great for interrupting. Poke the Nest, which is your 3 light hit chain, comes out fast, it applies a bleed, which allows you to keep that bleed up and further your combos for as much damage as possible. Now never forget about your kick. It's a great tool to keep your offensive going. It allows you to string together multiple combos, giving you a great upper hand and keeping the momentum in your favor. That wraps up all my basic tips on Nobushi. Now go out there and start making people bleed. Thanks for watching, everybody. New hero guides will be coming out over the next couple of weeks to help you learn all the heroes, how to play them, and how to play against them. So be sure to stick around the channel and even hit the bell next to the sub button to get a notification when I upload. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you disliked it, you know what to do. If you guys want more advanced guides on Nobushi or any other hero, let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, see you guys next time.